Hello there. Good morning, and welcome to day 2 of Decipher. It is really a bummer that I cannot be there with you in person due to travel quarantine restrictions here in Asia. But the Foundation's got a lot in store next year, and I will certainly look forward to seeing you soon at many of our regional events. I want to take this opportunity to share with you some truly amazing results we've all accomplished together as a community and give you a sneak peek of our plans for next year before I pass the stage to our great chief economist, Massimo, to elaborate further on community governance and long-term algo dynamics. Let's first talk about the rocket booster of our ecosystem. That is the absolutely phenomenal Algorand community. We now have over 500,000 active members across various social channels and more than 1,000 ambassadors and community champions across 80 countries. We have also broadened our outreach to different audiences as well, as evident by Silvio's invitation to speak at the G20 to share insights with global policymakers, and the Foundation's engagement with Reuters Momentum on topics of blockchain sustainability, in which our interview was voted as the top session by conference attendees. With the help from all of you, we can bring further insight into why blockchain and cryptocurrencies can further enable financial inclusion and social impact initiatives, and why Algorand is the best protocol to make that happen. Next, let's talk about the amazing growth in our ecosystem programs as well. Since the beginning of 2021, we have launched over 1,000 grants and bounties on innovative use cases, research, and community projects, which represent a 1,000% increase in proposals received and approved. Overall, roughly about 25 million algos, close to $50 million in ecosystem support, have been distributed responsibly. We have also launched hackathons and accelerators across 4 continents, working closely with our regional partners to bring the brightest minds into the Algorand ecosystem. This has yielded exciting projects such as Yieldly, AlgoMint, AlgoFi, Fox Finance, Opulus, Oris, just to name a few. This has also resulted in an average daily on-chain transaction volume of 2 million per day, with over 15 million non-custodial wallets across the world. There's also one more achievement that I want to highlight, that is our inaugural community governance program. With 1.8 billion algos committed by over 71,000 governors and the largest ever on-chain community vote with over 52,000 voters, we have officially one of the most vibrant and actively participated governance programs in the industry. Together, we also made the algo the most utility tokens of them all, as it is used for transaction fees, payments, consensus, and now also for governance. One token, ultimate utilities. In a few minutes, Massimo will be sharing with you the roadmap of future governance periods, so stay tuned for that. While we're charging ahead with the availability of dozens of DeFi and NFT projects in the coming weeks and months, including the launch of the largest ever altcoin options vault, which our friends at QCP Capital will be sharing more about right here in Decipher. At the Foundation, we're also extremely passionate about social impact projects. We believe it is our collective responsibility to use technology to do good and facilitate impact, especially as it relates to environment and human sustainability. There are 3 collaborations in particular that I would like to highlight today. First is our partnership with the Women's World Banking, who has a mandate to empower women around the world, especially in underprivileged communities, to have equitable finance to access to financial services in an increasingly digital world. We are building a global wallet solution along with our partner 8 Tech, the development of a digital wallet that integrates a new W3C compliant digital identity protocol in support of global payments, remittances, microinsurance, and related services. The first digital economy pilot will be in the Philippines, and we're excited about the potential impact for its community that this partner can enable. The second is with Authentium, one of our ENCODE Club cohort finalists, who's building an ecosystem of DAO-like decentralized autonomous supply chain organizations that remove powerful centralized authorities from the global food supply chains. This will help liberate primary producers, namely the local farmers, from those often exploitative supply chains and bring upon an ecosystem that stands for transparency, efficiency, and traceability. The third is the Foundation's inclusion as a founding member of the World Economic Forum's CISA Committee, CISA, which stands for Crypto, Impact, and Sustainability Accelerator. And together with industry partners such as Ernst & Young, Grayscale, Andreessen Horowitz, and the Ethereum Foundation, we aim to accelerate progress around ESG targets for the crypto ecosystem and bridge the gap between understanding between the public and private sectors. So what do we have in store for 2022? With our community governor's approval, we are ready to activate our ecosystem fund beyond the current grant programs. The first of which is our recently announced Veritas DeFi Fund, which aims to drive additional TVL growth in Algorand. We're extremely thrilled about the rapid growth in our DeFi projects, and with Veritas providing liquidity support and delivering cross-chain token bridges and oracles, these will further allow for composability within the Algorand ecosystem. On the education and research front, our Algorand Center of Excellence, ACE, program will be kicking off in full swing, and thus far we have already received letters of intent with over 400 participants from across 45 countries. With blockchain and crypto becoming mainstream, it is critical to nurture the next generations of talent to push the boundaries of innovation, and that's what our ACE program and developer certification programs are aiming to do. Our foundation's research team is also leading the efforts to ensure that our blockchain will be at the forefront of solutions in the future. Public blockchains are, well, public. They sometimes provide pseudonymity, but do not allow managing and storing of private information. But imagine that you can store confidential information directly on a blockchain, revealing it only according to the policies of an on-chain smart contract. You could, for example, store your medical records and ensure that they are made available to the proper medical providers only when needed. Secrets on the blockchain, as pioneered by our team, will advance the research towards the realization of this dream. We will now have an opportunity to partner with many of the world's brightest minds and to use the Algorand blockchain as part of the foundational pillars for decentralized scientific information sharing and borderless economic possibilities. Before I hand the stage to Massimo, I want to end by reminding all of you here of the Foundation's partnership with the Envision Racing Team and Formula E Global Racing Series. We will leverage this truly global platform to bring together our holders, governors, developers, and investment partners to work together and continue to grow our amazing Algorand ecosystem and community. The race circuits will cover many of the top cities around the world, so be on the watch out on future announcements on how you can engage with the greenest blockchain and the greenest team on the greenest grid. Hope to see you there. Massimo, you are up next.
Thanks, Sean, and thanks, Kelly, for inviting me here to talk about the future of our economy and our governance. And hello, Decipher. Sorry for not being there in person, but I'm now dealing with another side of the future, which is the birth of my third kid, who is due in 10 days. But let's make use of the next 5 minutes to talk a little bit about the foundation prospects about governance and economy. Let me first say that our governance program, in my opinion, is really unique. First of all, no one is actually allowing the community to decide on such a large part of the undistributed resources, that include the allocation of innovation and DeFi funds, support to developers, rewards, social initiatives. That's so different, from other programs that only allow decision on small fraction of resources, or maybe on minor technical choices, or maybe on resources that were provided, by the participants to the pool themselves. For us, the foundation is really calling the community to participate and to take decision on the big foundation decisions, those that are taken in a centralized fashion everywhere else. At the same time, the foundation does not want to stop its commitment. We are actually providing to the governors a detailed, breakdown of the different opportunities and directions, to choose from, and we are trying to help in creating a framework for value creation. If we think, for example, just of the first governance period that created a lot of interest, debate and participation, we've seen that in an open governance framework, the governors are not only thinking of their own rewards, they are perfectly able to decide through their vote on the balance between the level of their rewards and the level of their commitment. We actually believe that increasing the participation of the community can benefit the network under many points of view. Governance, but also services, for the working and the efficiency of the network, and also the support to DeFi, through liquidity and TVL. These are all things where, in a decentralized reality, it's participants that essentially lead and decide to become champions by their own willingness to take up more and more responsibilities. Well, let's say that it's not only governance that make our economy special, In order to preserve a long-term value and develop the incredible technology that Silvio Micali actually built for Algorand, we have been able to solve the issue of bootstrapping a new economy in an algorithmic way that has proven effective and also sustainable. Consistently, we also developed the so-called long-term algodynamics, again a framework for sustainable distribution, that we are now revising 1 year after its first publication to take governance into account and move from a simple logic of economic estimation to a more dynamic logic of simulation of the future governance decisions that essentially will drive dynamically the timing of allocation, but within a framework that still guarantees balance and sustainability. This year, we have seen that the circulation of the algo has grown for several reasons, for distribution of resources, particularly towards development and DeFi, because of the distribution of rewards for network services, and also because of a widely recognized reform of the circulating supply. And interestingly, also capitalization and our relevance among the largest blockchains has actually grown, apparently, defying the rules of the old economy. That's also, the outcome of careful economic design, often, dynamic design through the evolution of the network. That, paired with exceptional technology, helps in, defeating difficulties and win in the long run. We're going to see more in value creation. The next decisions by the governors are going to be about the allocation, the timing, and the amount of resources for the future of DeFi, of social good, and of developer support. So, in a sense, for the future of Algorand. And you all can be part of it. Thank you, and see you soon.